about how we're going to replace the funding. First of all, it's up to the state to fund the schools. That's number one. And again, our Commissioner Plechnik did a great job on a lot of these interviews outlining how a lot of the waste, if we cut the waste, the schools are taken care of 100%. But as far as the services now for the municipalities, that's where I'm going to make an argument on the other side. Okay, what we pay on our property tax bill, we pay to the schools. That is an actual tax because we don't get a direct benefit from it. Same thing goes with the parks, the libraries, the Auburn Career Centers, and all the other things. Those are all taxes which we're trying to bill, and obviously, because they're a tax, if we fail to pay, they can seize our property, okay, because it's a tax. Now, what about what we pay to our municipalities? Is that really a tax? I'm gonna argue no, it's a service, okay? Because again, we provide police, fire, EMS, roads, we have to fix the infrastructure in our village, we need new storm sewers, things like that. You know, those are all services that people get direct benefits from. And again, those aren't even collected equitably because we're collecting them based on valuation of property, but we're providing services per person based on population. You know, and again, it's not fair and equitable the way we provide these. So we need a more fair and equitable way. And again, like Brian says, send a bill. But what I'm saying is if this amendment passes, they can make the argument, well, everything will come off that tax bill, but the services that we pay for our municipality. Now, in Timberlake, only 17% of the tax bill goes to Timberlake. That's only, in my case, out of the $10,000, it's $1,700. And really, it's not bad when you think about it, that's all I have to pay, and think of what I get for it. Police, fire, EMS. You know, what's breaking us is really the school funding. You know, it's over 60% of the bill. And again, our legislators, no one really wants to go, what is really the root of the problem, okay? And again, I tried to go to our senator and I said, look, Senator, you know, this is what we need to do. I put together a House bill for them to replace the school funding. Now look, we'll be happy if you just take that off our bill because that's what's causing people to lose their homes, that 60+% that they can't afford to pay. And then every time they have these valuations, because of the 20 mil floor, they get more money without the vote of the people. So this is where the major problem, and again, his response was, well, we're not looking at increasing income tax or sales tax, we're looking at eliminating the income tax. I said, but income tax is not the problem in our state. Property taxes. People aren't losing their homes because of failure to pay income tax. It's failure to pay the property tax. It's not the failure to pay, it's the inability to pay. And that's where the problem is that we have too many people out there with the inability to pay, and now they're threatened to lose their homes. And that's why there's only one solution. Brian, I've been with this now for I don't know how many years now. I know him 10, maybe me 4 or 5, I don't know. But either way, there is no solution. It's unsustainable, unrepairable, and the whole system needs to be overhauled. And this is the only way. You need to abolish the whole thing, start over. And again, there's our laws in place for schools to get their funding they want through other local income taxes and other ways they can do it. And again, unless they cut the spending, they're never going to have enough because it's never enough. Willie Beast Lake School, they got $8.8 million windfall. At the last 2 meetings, the one they talked about, they already had the money spent, and if they run out in the spring, in the summer, they'll look at what services they're going to cut at that point. But at that point, they're just spending it all. And then now they're talking about putting another permanent improvement levy on because they have some buildings now. 3 of their 5 buildings aren't new, so obviously they need to catch them up to the other ones, and now they want to put another levy on. They're looking at that. And again, it's never enough, and God forbid they talk about let's maybe get rid of some of the administrative staff, you know, too many, again, administrators, multiple principals on every grade level, you know. And again, I could go on and on and on. We all know where the problem is, but you know what we need help with. We have the petition out there. What it is, we need to again get these signatures. The best way to do it is we have the email PDF. If you can email anyone you know the packet, and if they can print it out, they can become circulators. And again, just gather as many signatures as we can. Once they complete the packet, mail it to the PO box, which is on the circulator instructions. And again, if we can get this going and get as many as we can, you know, again, they're running scared, and we want to make sure, we want to keep the momentum going. And the only way to get out there, no one's ever done it this way. You know, usually they print out the petitions, give them to the different counties, and you know, we set it up that way. But we don't have the time for that, one. And number two, we're going to use, and instead of the snail mail, we're going to use electronic email, and that's the best way to reach people and get the word out there. So
the email you're referring to, is it the email that's on the packet, or are you talking about the endohiotax.org email?
Well, you can go to, there's an email on there, info@axelhowtax.org or .com. If you follow, you can email and request a packet, you know, request a PDF, or again, you can go to that axelhowtax.com also website and sign up there to become a circulator, and then you will get an email. We'll just email you back the packet with the instructions on it.
So to correct, Jamie Calendar is terming out. Jesse Stiles, who is another creation of Jamie Calendar, and I liken to Chris Galloway, should not be taking that seat. This man should run against Stiles to go against, to take Jamie Calendar's seat. This man right here.
Okay, I'm done.